Alrighty, Freedom Elite. That's what I'm taking to BoyerTown, Pennsylvania. Dawn's driving that bus right over there, and as you can tell, we're in a bus parking lot. So we're at her delivery spot, making her delivery. I'm Tex. Dawn's in the RV, inside the bus, getting her stuff done. And so that way she can make her delivery here. Try to keep the wind out of this as much as possible. Get over here in between some of these buses. And as you've seen, there's Elusive behind my unit. We're going to take to BoyerTown after we get done making this delivery. And this will be the second bus we brought here. And the RV, the first RV, when we brought the bus, we also took one to Hamburg, Pennsylvania. And then after this, we'll pick up two RVs going to Dover, Florida, I think it is. And that's where we're going next. Let's touch base on something. Cruise control. Speed. Things like that. Driving. I've talked about cruise control several other times in some other videos. And here's something I'm going to bring up to your attention. If you travel 60 to 80,000 miles a year, 1 mile per gallon difference is worth $2,000 a year. Now, some people, that $2,000, a whole month's worth of their income. Okay? On some people, it's half of a month's of income. So you really got to take a look at this. At cruise control, if it was to save you 1 mile per gallon by using cruise control, then it is well worth it. And here's what you run into. Okay? Some people don't understand cruise control has a plus and minus on it. So you can up the speed and lower the speed versus pressing on the gas pedal or hitting the brake and then pressing the gas pedal. Hit the brake to turn off the cruise control and then press on the gas pedal to speed up and all that good stuff. And what's the difference? Is because in the cruise control plus and minus capability, that is electronically generated and electronically adjusted. Okay, so your speed will increase slowly and your speed will decrease slowly. There won't be a spurt of a ton of fuel going into the system that's wasted and then it finally catches up. Or when you let off, it's a ton of fuel that's still going and then it finally slows down. Yeah, that's where you're wasting your fuel. And using your gas pedal instead of your cruise control, $2,000 a year is what the actual average comes out to. It's what the calculations are. So I would definitely recommend getting into learning how to drive with cruise control. It makes a major difference. Plus it allows you to be able to manage your speed a lot better. There she is. She's walking back and forth, going between the car and the bus, getting her stuff settled. But yeah, so that's one of the things I definitely recommend you getting into doing and into used to having. Now, when driving up a hill, cruise control is a negative in that feature because the gears will drop down and it will start revving that engine up higher. And let's say your cruise control, your RPMs is 8,000 at max RPMs, then you only want to do half at 4,000 or less than that. So therefore, but your cruise control will drop your gears down and it will go above that 4,000. So you end up revving that engine. Whereas if you would literally take off the cruise control, hit the button, because there is a button to turn off the cruise. Not turn off the entire cruise, but turn off the speed that you're set for. And then as soon as you do that, you put your foot on the fuel and accelerator, and therefore you will be able to adjust and run that at a steady pace below that 4,000, that halfway mark. Now, if your vehicle's only 7,000 RPMs total, then that would be 3,500. 6,000 be 3,000 RPMs. Okay, but you will be able to control, so therefore you're not wasting fuel going up a hill. Okay, and then set your cruise control once you get back at the level top of the hill, and once you start going down the hill, it'll actually slow you down a lot of times to keep you within the speed. Some of them will actually adjust that if there's too much pressure, they'll shut off, and then therefore you're just coasting, and that's not good either. So make sure that you're paying attention to what you're doing there. But as far as going up a hill, that's how you want to do cruise control. You want to turn it off and then use your accelerator. But the minute you get back on level grounds to where you can set that cruise control, just hit that resume and it'll take you back to the regular speed and you're doing good. Now, if you're following somebody, so in other words, like my wife's always following me, then if I tell her I'm doing 68, she can set cruise control at 68. And if she finds out her cruise control at 68 is going a little faster than mine, then she can press the minus key and it will slow her down one mile, or even just a half a mile per hour. And therefore she'll actually adjust to where's my speed. Or she may end up always having to hit that plus and minus. So in other words, she hits the minus and she goes 20 miles and she realizes she's coasted back some, and then she hits the plus one time and then she starts catching up. And as long as you're on the interstate, this is fine. When you're on like 322 here, and you got a few red lights here and there and a few turns and so forth and different things, that might be a little bit more difficult with the hills and all. So it does come into play to where you have to turn it off a lot of times. So hence, but as far as open interstate and driving along, yeah, you could definitely still use the cruise control to coast behind somebody. And just learn to use the plus, only hitting it once or twice to increase, once or twice to decrease. And usually just once works just fine. But sometimes you might have to hit it twice to slow it down, and hit it once, hit a plus, and that way it mellows it back out to where you're slowing down a lot slower. So those are the things I definitely recommend about cruise control. And those that follow, you can still use cruise control. You just have to learn to use that, and it works better than using the gas pedal. Okay, where Dawn hasn't used the cruise control before, drove the exact same unit I've driven, but yet her gas mileage is slower than mine, and I'm the one pulling 3,500 pound car. And it'd be a difference of 2 to 3 miles per gallon. So yeah, I hit 10 miles to the gallon pulling the car, and she hits 9 miles to the gallon, and she's the one behind me. Doesn't make sense, but understandable. That was testing to find out if cruise control really made a major difference, and it does. And we usually test like in areas of going 800 miles or so that way we really have a good variance to go by. All right, there you go. As always, peace, love, and jelly beans, people. Y'all be safe out there. I'm Tex, Dawn, DTN Living Life. Catch y'all again as soon as we get into another unit and go somewhere else. We will update again. Like I said, we're here in Pennsylvania, Duncannon, Rower, I think it's Rower is how you pronounce it, Rower or Rower. Delivering a short bus here at this bus depot. Alrighty, y'all be safe out there.